views and opinions expressed by hosts and guests on Patriots with Grit do not necessarily reflect those of Patriots with Grit LLC, its founders, and owners.
Get ready for truth bombs and guidance from conservative leaders and entrepreneurs from God-fearing, freedom-loving, truth-telling, patriotic Americans. Welcome to Patriots with Grit. Now let's jump into today's episode with your host, Darren Ross.
Americans are more unhealthy today than they've ever been before. We're faced with chronic diseases such as Alzheimer's, dementia, cancer, and heart disease, and it seems there's no end in sight.
Is it time for President Trump to declare a national chronic disease emergency?
We're going to find out all about it on today's show with our awesome guest. Here we go.
Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Well, John Richardson, it's always awesome to have you back on here with Patriots with Grit. You are the founder and CEO of RNC Richardson Nutritional Center in the great sunny state of Arizona. We like to have you on because you are one of the few that actually tell truth. You actually train people, and you also do your due diligence in the digging and the research and in the whole education of how to get Americans healthy again. So thank you, my friend, for being back on here. I know you guys have some amazing updates. Randy, he always brings some new stuff to the table, you know?
We like new stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, with Trump being in office, I think you've got more information you want to share.
He does. He's talked about the treasure trove on the last few episodes, but I think he's going to drop a new one on us and our guest today. So, John, thanks so much for being here, my friend.
You guys, I love being on the show. You guys always make me laugh. It's a fun time, and we do stay positive because there's a lot to be negative about and a lot to be worried about. But as you both know, I've been fighting this battle. My family's been fighting this battle for the past 60 years, my entire life. Actually, before my dad was fighting the battle before I was even born. So to have a time like we're having right now with so much fun things happening. I mean, today, you know, last time I was on, we covered the 7 things that we wanted to have them do. And today, gentlemen, I'm sure you've seen it. It gives me chills in the back of my neck. They pulled the security, the $2 million a year security from Anthony Fauci. So that was pulled today.
I bet he's got a little pucker syndrome going
on.
on.
My gosh. Can you imagine?
People, for you all just watching this, John referred to this, the 7 key points. I think they were called the 7 mission critical steps, Randy. And it was the episode that we had with John just a few days ago. So if you're wanting to catch up on that, those 7 steps, John, were jaw-dropping, I will have to admit.
Well, yeah, and when I told you, we laughed about it. We were all laughing. John, if this is for real, you know, a lot of our friends are saying this, you know, that's not going to happen. They're not doing this. And I'm like, okay, guys, you hold me to it. And so funny. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I don't know what
that applause was not planned, but we just want to thank our audience for doing that because that is pretty awesome.
What hit the desk?
It's the Lord's divine intervention here.
Exactly. We always have technical difficulties. Maybe I said a word that made that happen. I don't know.
We have this fancy board here, and it comes with all these awesome sounds. And I always get mad at Randy because he never was.
It's doing it on its own.
It's like it's doing what is it, telepathy or whatever?
Maybe the word awesome. Maybe when you say the word awesome.
Let's not touch the table because it's causing the audience to applaud, Randy.
Yeah.
So, John.
Maybe it's on a loop. That's okay.
This could be one of our best episodes ever because the people are just ecstatic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have no idea why this is doing this, but we will try to move on.
Cardio miracle to me is hope in a glass. When you create nitric oxide, you are igniting the spark of life in the cell. It is the miracle molecule. That's why we called this cardio miracle, because of nitric oxide and what it can do for the whole body.
So actually, as we were joking about, when I was with you guys before, we were kind of joking about how John, is this really going to happen? A lot of our friends say, they're backsliding or, are we being lied to? And so we remained positive, and I was really giddy when I was talking to you guys because I knew that these were happening. And one of them, I don't recall whether this was my prediction. I told you we were going to be coming out of the WHO and replacing it with the Global Wellness Forum. Within days of Trump being sworn in, he pulled us out of the WHO. Yep. And I said it to you guys for the first time. I don't know if I was the first person to tell you that it was going to happen. But then when it happened, it's just kind of like, it's this feeling inside of me that's like vindication, because you know how we've always heard for the last 5 years, Guantanamo Bay and somebody's getting arrested and somebody's doing this. And we kept hearing these things, but it never happened.
Never happened.
Yeah, never happened. So when I said that we're going to be withdrawing from the WHO Global Wellness Forum, a lot of my friends were like, "Oh, sure, John, come on." No, I said I have insider information, and it's happened. So that's one of the ones that happened. And then this morning, after I wake up, see I'm going to be on with you guys, they pulled Fauci's $2 million a year, 15 agent security detail. And I had said to you guys, we had talked about whether he was going to be pardoned or not. And I told you that I didn't care if he was pardoned or not. He's not going to get out of the court of public opinion. And so now he's going to have to be looking over his shoulder. And when all the rest of the stuff comes out, all the rest of my list, and I'm not going to re-go over the list because anybody can rewatch it, but each of those 7 platforms that we had are happening. They're in process. And, a lot of people are saying Trump's done more good for our movement and our country and the world in the last 5 days than probably anybody's done in the last 20 years. They keep saying Biden did. I don't even know one good thing Biden did. So that's like when my wife says, don't say, Laetrile is less poisonous than sugar, because then you're comparing it to a poison because sugar is a poison. So anyway, comparing Trump to Biden is laughable, but these things are happening. So,
well, Biden was going in the opposite direction. He was intentionally destroying.
Absolutely. So when I do hear people say Trump's done more in 5 days than Biden did in his whole presidency, Trump did more, 30 seconds after he was signed in than Biden did his whole presidency, because just the hope and the energizing and all the great things that are going on. It's fun, guys. Is it fun? Is it not fun? Not fun.
Oh,
it's fantastic.
I told my wife, I'm exhausted from the 4 days of winning. I mean, it's 96 hours in, and I'm like, I need to take a nap.
I know. It is. It's truly that way. And so we have to get used to fighting from the front now, guys. That's one of the things that we have to get used to. And part of that is being, having leadership and not just allowing the first negative thing to come along to get us fighting amongst each other, because that's going to have a tendency, our side, might, this guy wants this and that. No. We need to lead from the front. We need to keep God at the center of our focus, and the humanity as the reason we're going forward with this. So we're not going to stop and sit back and go, okay, Trump's got it taken care of. We're going to keep holding him to the fire. And one thing that happened that's clearly negative is Larry Ellison coming out and talking about whatever this project is, that they're going to use mRNA vaccines to cure our cancer one individual at a time using artificial intelligence. That's about as evil of a program as you can imagine. And the fun part about it is everybody sees it right away. They're all coming out. Even RFK Jr.'s vice presidential running mate, Nicole Shanahan, who used to be considered a liberal, a horrible person, and, but she's seen the light. She's coming out and saying, this is horrible. This could be, end humanity if they get this to go through. So, even when a negative thing like that comes out, I had friends call me, John, oh my God, oh no, look, see, I told you they just tricked us. And I go, no, they didn't. We got to lead from the front. Compatriots of ours are going to make mistakes, and we just got to gently nudge them back into it. So I'm not going to sit here on this podcast today and say Trump is evil and Trump did this horribly. Now, there's all planned that he was going to do this. Elon Musk is evil. No, I'm going to go, a mistake was made and a mistake will be corrected. And it's already being corrected. So
let me ask you that. How do we get Trump to realize that's a bad idea?
Because he did early on with the vaccines with Fauci. He was all about it early on, and I would have thought that would have been his wake up call to slow it down now at this early stage.
Well, and this is kind of it's really fine. Think you really have to think fine. Remember that Trump is just a human being. He's surrounded by some excellent people, but you and I, none of us can say we're experts at everything. Clearly, Trump is an expert at many things. I look up to him. When it comes to negotiating a real estate deal or building a building or firing employees that are worthless or seeing quickly through people's lies, he's great at all that stuff. But when it comes to vaccines, he has been brainwashed. He has been surrounded by big pharma people and people that have convinced him that vaccines are good. But he is partnered with the guy who knows exactly what's going on, RFK Jr. But they are so busy, I bet they might get 30 seconds to speak to each other in a given day. I mean, I know what my schedule looks like, guys. My schedule is so packed, I sometimes don't even get to talk to my wife during the day. So I'm John Richardson. I'm just some guy out here, out here in this field. So what I'm saying to you is things are going to happen in spite of his best efforts because of his track record in the past, believing that pharmaceutical companies were maybe not horrible. Here's a man that eats at McDonald's. The last time I ate at McDonald's, maybe 15 years ago. He's a guy that drinks Diet Coke. I know that's poison, but I'm not gonna say, okay, Trump is a horrible person because he eats at McDonald's and drinks Diet Coke. That's just who he is. He has an immune system that's bulletproof. So this is what I'm saying, guys. This is not me jumping on the bad wagon to say Trump bad. He made a mistake. Trump bad. I'm going to say how we're going to do it. We're gathering a coalition. I sent out a letter either this morning or yesterday, or maybe it hasn't gone out. But I'm sending out a letter pleading to all my friends in the health world to gather together to go to Trump and demand he listen to us. I mean, all my doctor friends, Dr. Paul Merrick, Dr. Avery Jackson, Dr. Frank Battaglione, Dr. Judy Mikovits, together, kind of like they did in the steps of in Washington when they talked about ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. And so I'm doing my part. Maybe it will do something or won't do something, but this whole thing with Anthony Fauci, I called for that 2 months ago. Did Trump listen to John Richardson? Probably not. I was just another voice that was calling for that, and it got done. So that's how we're going to do it. We're going to join together. And any chance we get to talk to, I met with a Hollywood movie producer 2 nights ago at a restaurant here in Arizona, and one of his closest friends, a guy he hangs out with all the time, is Tom Holman, the border czar. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, you go, John, I didn't wake up in the morning knowing I was going to have a meeting with the Hollywood producer that knows Tom Holman. I didn't wake up in the morning, but God said, okay, you need to talk to Trump. Here's another guy that you can talk to. You know what Tom Holman knows about health and nutrition and vaccines? Zero, guys. But do we both agree, all three of us agree, that Tom Holman is an amazing American that's doing fun, great things? And if I can get Tom Holman to help me talk to Trump about vaccines, I'll take any route I can get. If I can get 5 minutes with him, or one of us can get 5 minutes with him. I have many friends, Dr. Ed Group, Leanna Warner Gray hung out with Trump and church. But did she get to talk to him about vaccines? No, but she knows. She's one of the people who call me, John, this is horrible. This is horrible what they just came out with. I said, yes, it is. But it's just the devil trying to take his spot. It doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. There's too many of us surrounding Trump now. I mean, it goes on and on, guys. Tracy Slipovics, I'm mispronouncing your name, is...
I got a text from her and her husband Steve today on a big campaign they're moving forward with.
Very good friends.
All around.
Yeah, very good friends. They are. I will be speaking at their event. I'll have a booth at their event. But here's the key: she is actually taking the chief of staff position for Callie Means. So, yes, yeah. Think about that. guys. This is a friend, and she's going for Callie Means. But if you look out there and you do some deep dive on Callie Means, you'll hear guys on our side, oh gosh, she's going to be upset with me, but I don't remember her name anyway. Sherry Tenpenny. She and I spoke for a half an hour about Callie Means, and I told her, Sherry, he's the real deal. I know it. What he is, he came from a deep state background, but he's woken up, just like Nicole Shanahan. Callie Means has woken up. He's on our side, but there's people in our side that think, no, he's a deep state plant. He's horrible. He's all that. But I know a Tracy Slepovic, and she would not be taking a chief of staff position with him if he wasn't the real deal. But I also know that because I've talked to him. He's actually taking B-17. But again, he doesn't have a clue about vaccines when it comes to all the stuff that I do. Or that Del Bigtree does. So, but they're surrounded by people that do. And as we're moving forward, we've gone in 5 days. Trust me, we are winning, but we have to learn to lead from the front. So
I agree.
So, this vaccine, let me back up. The people that are involved, I saw the video where he introduced that and they talked about the vaccine for cancer.
With AI.
With AI.
Yeah.
Where is that guy's background? He's from Big Pharma
yeah,
somehow?
Larry Ellison is a billionaire guy.
He's the founder of Oracle.
What's that?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is a fool when it comes to medicine and vaccines. He's an investor, and it sounds great. I mean, literally, guys, if I was a dummy about anything and thought vaccines had any promise, it sounds great. You can come up with a personalized vaccine that uses AI to help me from ever getting cancer. Who wouldn't think that's great? Except we know that mRNA vaccines are killing people, that mRNA vaccines have been proven to destroy people's immune system. But there's a whole set of population that just says, oh, this sounds like a good idea, if that really is true. And then there's these big billionaires that think I can make billions more and help people. They're naive and they're stupid. I'm sorry, Larry Ellison, if you're hearing me say this, you're an idiot when it comes to vaccines.
The crazy part that I think about, we talked about this last night, how convenient that an mRNA vaccine has now caused cancer to explode.
Yes, exactly.
And
that's
now
the whole
they're
point.
going to find something to counteract it.
Well, and my wife and I have this conversation all the time. She's in healthcare. She works in a hospital setting. She says, I've never seen so many people with strokes, heart attacks, aneurysms, and cancer in all my 28 years in my career. And it's just exploding and skyrocketing. She says what's more alarming is all that I'm seeing in young people. So she and I have the conversation of, we know what the vaccines have done to people. We know how many people lined up to get them. But I said, think about it. When they unload another, quote, scamdemic on us, or in this case, this cancer vaccine, think how many people will just be fighting their ways, crawling over broken glass to get the front of the line to get another jab. I mean, it is absolutely maddening that people haven't seen the light of day yet from all the nonsense and all the tragedy this has caused.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your mind around it. And it really is. We are reversing 50 years of evil in 5 days. I mean, so just understand that this time requires people like your wife to stand up and tell people those stories, because she knows more about the dangers of vaccines than Larry Ellison does. She knows more about the dangers of vaccines than President Trump does. And that might sound like, John, how dare you say, some person out here knows more than Trump does. They do. As simple as that. If you were going to come to me and ask me how to make the best chicken pot pie in the world, your wife is probably way better, at doing that to me. And I'm not belittling her, because your wife's an amazing, lovely person, but we can only be experts at so many things. And so when it comes to metabolic answers for cancer, Dr. Ed Group said he wants me to be the chairman of the Natural Answers to Cancer department of the Global Wellness Forum.
Wow.
But that's not going to happen today, because even if Ed was trying to reach me and get me on the platform right now, we wouldn't even be able to connect, because he's so busy and I'm so busy. I've got doctors, world famous doctors that we're trying to connect, and we can't do it because of all the time that we're doing. So what I'm imploring your audience to hear is that we are winning. It's not bad. Just because something bad happens doesn't mean, oh my God, give up. Oh, run to the hills. No, we're going to do whatever it takes to keep this plan going. And then so that it's going to take a lot of education to wipe out cancer in the next 4 years, but I'm committed to doing it. And with your guys' help, changing your audience's mind, knowing that we have the answer, it's just going to build this groundswell. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, I just got all excited there because I'm thinking, you're getting these doctors to come in. You start seeing, if they follow a crowd, there may be some fantastic doctors on the outside that have been too scared, and now they're going to kind of follow the lead. And I think we're going to see a groundswell. It won't be just 5,000. It might be 20,000.
Well, that's exactly it. Because let me just give you a small example. I have a very close friend of mine, doctor. His name is Dr. John Murphy. I feel like he's my brother from another mother, and I met him 60 days ago. Now, you guys are both going to go, John, that's crazy. How can you be like really close friends with this guy? How can you feel like you're brothers from another mother when you met him 60 days ago? Because he's been fighting this battle underground for 25 years. He's been wiping out cancer in people using my dad's metabolic program.
Did you not know that prior to meeting him?
No, I did not know that.
John, is he considered an MD or a naturopath?
Yeah, he's not only considered an MD, he has an MD, guys, that took over the practice of this doctor. I wish I didn't have to reach for this, but I do. Oh, no, here it is over here. This doctor, Dr. Binzel, I don't know Dr. Binzel before, but he treated his patients with Laetrile. He was successful in the 70s, and this book is full of case histories, just like my dad's book, of metabolic therapy, people with cancer that were treated with Laetrile successfully. Dr. Binzel began using Laetrile and other nutritional therapies in the treatment of cancer patients since the mid-1970s. His record of success is astounding. He tells of his ongoing battle with the medical establishment, but this is primarily the story of his patients, many of whom did not expect to survive the disease. Medical case histories are included. I've known about this book. I've known about it for probably the last 5 or 6 years, but I did not know there was a doctor that took his practice over, and that doctor's been practicing in Arizona for the last 25 years successfully. And when a patient comes in have him help him with cancer, he requires them to read 2 books. You know what those books are, guys? These are the 2 books he requires them to read.
I've got both of those. Can you believe that, Randy? I've got them both.
Yeah, but see, it's called Laetrile Cases or Laetrile Case Histories, and then there's World Without Cancer.
Right. And I did not know this man. His office is 4 miles from my previous office. I did not know this great American hero till 60 days ago. We've met, hung out. He came to an event we had. We've talked for 3 hours, and literally we're finishing each other's sentences. And he told me, John, I don't know anybody in 25 years that regularly eats apricot seeds that's ever died of cancer at all my patients.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was underground.
So
if you went to his website right now, Dr. John Murphy, anybody can look him up. He's given me permission now. What my point was, he's been underground as an MD. They tried to take his license away twice. He fought him back and won because he has all of his patients sign this document saying that they understand that he's doing something that's an adjunctive therapy. It's not a treatment for their cancer. It's just an adjunctive therapy to help them build up their immune system. So he's got these documents signed. And I said, John, are you ready to jump into the battle now? And he said, yeah, John, I'm ready. I said, can I put your name out there? Can I tell people your name? He said, yes, I am. Yes, you can.
Just out of curiosity, not that this matters, but like age-wise, how old is this guy? Like 70s,
he's
80s?
He's in his early 60s. He's in his early 60s. He was right out of medical school, right? And he worked at Dr. Binzel's office. He worked at Dr. Binzel's office and he uses page 99. If anybody gets this book, he uses page 99, and it's outline of how much B17 he gives to his patients. He sends them.
Kind of the protocol in a way.
He sent his patients to Mexico to pick up their B17 because he didn't know that I was 4 miles away. Okay, so guys, if I can tell you, I've been doing this 30 years and he's been doing it 25 years, and the system has kept it so we didn't even know each other. What about just the average Joe? The average Joe that's hearing this for the first time and thinks I'm a lunatic. They're going, no. But this guy, another book that we found in the vault, guys, that you didn't know about because I've only known about it for 10 days. This book was published in 2000 by Philip Day, who was a prolific author, wrote 30 books. There's actually a clinic in Mexico that uses the Philip Day protocol. He says on the back of the book, and let me just read it to you. It's got apricot seeds, but he says, the war on cancer was won 50 years ago. So why are we still fighting it? Author Philip Day's simple but stunning overview exposes the ongoing medical, political, and economic scandal surrounding cancer. Here are the simple facts of the treatment from the medical experts themselves. Can cancer be treated at home today for just dollars, pounds a day? Find out why we're still dying to know the truth. This book, I didn't.
John, read that title of that book for our podcast listeners.
And the author.
Cancer, Why We're Still Dying to Know the Truth by Philip Day.
Okay, and what was that other one?
This other one is called
Alive and Well.
Alive and Well is by Philip Benzel. This is published by G. Edward Griffin. So I buy this book in bulk from G. Edward Griffin and get the message out there. This has been around, guys, for 50 years. We've had the answer, but it's been covered up. They call Ed Griffin a quack or a conspiracy theorist. The proof is, but it's not just G. Edward Griffin and my dad. This is, again, Philip Day wrote this book. This was a technical manual for doctors published in 2002. Okay, long after my dad passed away. I didn't know about the existence of this book, but let me tell you a couple more facts that I got from the vault that you guys have never heard before. June DeSwain, the woman who wrote this book called The Little Cyanide Cookbook, Delicious Recipes Rich in Vitamin B17 by June DeSpain, she was actually an FDA agent. She was a pharmacologist and toxicologist with the FDA. I didn't know that before I found this book. Here it is. I'm going to read this little section to you guys. June DeSpain, one of the pharmacologists and toxicologists from the FDA, wrote the Little Cyanide Cookbook, in which she dispels the deadly cyanide in its natural form myth and lays out dozens of diets containing the essential nitrilicide factor. DeSpain sums up her own findings on the back cover of her book, this little book right here. Because of its unique molecular structure, this compound releases cyanide only at the cancer site, thus destroying cancer cells while nourishing non-cancer tissue. Those populations in the world which eat these vitamin-rich foods simply do not get cancer, and they live to be much older than those who subsist on the typical modern diet. That's June DeSpain, the ex-FDA agent, pharmacologist, and toxicologist. And to wrap it all up, to tie it up in a nice little bow, who's the doctor inside the front cover? If every family could enjoy the meals from this book, we'd soon have no more cancer patients. Let us hasten that day. Dr. John A. Richardson, MD. Albany, California.
John, are any
of those on your website?
Yes, this book is on our website. It's been on our website for a while. This book, I literally found it 10 days ago. We don't even know how to get it or where it's published or anything. So I literally found it 10 days ago.
Now, did you find it in your treasure trove, or did you just find it like a...
No, we found it in the vault. We're constantly finding new things in the vault, or even, guys, we found so much material that even going through it, I could go on and on, but we have so much material, it's almost at the point of overwhelming.
My wife and I are going to show up at the RNC headquarters one of these, and that's not the Republican National. It's
right,
Richardson Nutritional Center.
It's in
We're
a
going to show up to
location,
your headquarters someday, John, because we have good friends out there.
We want you to. We invite you to. We invite doctors. Anybody watching this, we invite them to. We just tell people that we don't want to give the address out publicly because we're still in a battle.
Right.
I've lost friends that have died in this battle, and I'm not trying to die. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of them because I know that if I don't get out and tell this story now, I was on a national television broadcast today with one of the news, one of the alternative news networks. It's like, I can't remember the name, but it was, the guy literally said to me, he said, my audience thinks you're a crackpot, I'm sure, right now with the things you just said, about having the answer to cancer for 50 years. He said, people are dying all over the place, turbo cancers. Why isn't what you're saying known? And I said, because I'm getting it out there best I can. And people exactly say what you say, like, oh, you don't have the proof. So I'm inviting doctors and people in to get the proof, because even good friends like Dr. Simone Gold has said, John, do you have a report of all these things and written down? I go, I'm trying, Simone. I'm trying to bring it all in. I've got a 6-page thing that just lists some of these facts and some of these studies that have been done, just so we can bring it in the modern age. But I'm one person with a staff of, we have a staff of about 40, but it's not cheap to get to do all this research and combine all this stuff and do all these things. And so, we have to continually tell people, go to our website, buy the products, but also read the research that's on there, so that, so we can continue getting this message out there.
There's 3 types of gases in the body: oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitric oxide. Cardio Miracle is your advanced formula nitric oxide booster and provides you essential support for increased vitamin D3 and blood flow and oxygen, cellular health and reproduction, improved cardiovascular health, enhanced energy and clarity, and it supercharges your sexual stamina. So start reclaiming your health today and increase your energy, stamina, and focus. Go to cardiomiracle.com, enter discount code GRIT. That's cardiomiracle.com, discount code GRIT. Take advantage of this awesome product and start feeling better today. cardiomiracle.com, discount code GRIT.
And I think, John, so many people are aware of, but so many aren't, that chronic diseases, whether it's Alzheimer's or cancer or obesity or dementia, it's just exploding. And this is funny. I was talking to a family member the other day, and he has a good friend of his, and this guy's wife is a pharmacist, I think at Target. And they were talking, and she said, you'll never believe what's the most popular drug today in our pharmacy at Target. And they're like, what is it? Ozempic.
Oh, of course.
Ozempic. And this was the kicker. She told him that there will be 5 to 6 people a day come in and get that. And she said it's out of pocket. You know what the monthly out of pocket is? Take a wild guess.
$1,000.
$1,200 out of pocket for Ozempic. And they talk like it's just going. So not only are they feeding us all these foods to make us sick, make us obese, then we, go to Ozempic and get those injections or pills or whatever it is. That's another $1,200 a month. And then you don't get as thin as you want, and then before long you get cancer from all the nonsense of all the food. So it's a never-ending vicious circle, and we're all the victims. Here's another book, John, showing up, Moving Beyond the COVID Lies by Dr. Brian Ardis. I did not know Dr. Ardis had a book out. Is that brand new, John?
It is brand new.
This show is costing me today, Randy. You know why?
You're going to buy all the books.
I got to buy 4 books after the show, so it's costing me money to have John on today.
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm addicted to books.
At least you get a discount, and
we do.
Yeah, but about this, Brian's a very good friend of mine. He printed 10,000 copies of this book originally, and Amazon pre-sold over 200,000 copies of his book that tells about the COVID lies and describes exactly what's going on. And Brian, one of my very closest friends, says that Ozempic is not, it's not a matter of if you're going to get cancer, it causes cancer. And again, I'm not a big causes cancer guy. I'm a guy that says that cancer is a deficiency disease, and Brian agrees with me. But if you're going to direct radiation at your liver, constant radiation, you're going to get cancer despite of how good your immune system is, because it's just going to start making cells multiply. Ozempic causes cancer by destroying your liver, and you will get liver cancer. So,
well, I have a thought here. I've always said COVID was the biggest con and the biggest, most well-executed strategic marketing campaign the media has ever dropped on humanity, and especially Americans. Think about this for a second. People, they go out and get the COVID shot. They believe it's, and then you have people, they get the booster and another booster, but they get COVID 3 or 4 times. And they're going to get in line to get this cancer AI shot too. But have you ever thought about the whole agenda from the whole, I don't know if you want to call it the deep state or the big pharma,
the system?
They were probably sitting back looking at this saying, okay, let's do this. Let's use COVID as an experiment. Let's see how many people run to the front of the line to get the jabs and the pokes and the vaccines. And once we kind of get a demographic and statistics on this, let's roll out this miraculous cancer vaccine, and that's really going to put the nail in the coffin. So I think, my own personal opinion, based on what we saw, Randy, number of people that got the vaccine for COVID, I think the cancer vaccine would dwarf the people that went to get the COVID vaccine.
But it would potentially, and that's guys. That's why I'm so energized, is because I'm not going to allow it. As God is my witness over my dead body, and many other people just like me are saying the same thing, because cancer is a deficiency disease, and so it's a life or death for your audience to discover the truth before they allow their family members. They saw what happened in COVID. Anybody that let their family members get a COVID shot is suffering the consequences, unless they got the placebo. They saw what happened. That's the same plan. They've come down to this cancer one. They've given up on bird flu. Notice we don't hear about bird flu anymore. Notice we don't hear about monkeypox. Notice we don't hear about some of these other things because people get the scam. But when you throw the word cancer out, we lose all capability to think.
Absolutely.
Cancer
no rationale.
Is a deficiency disease. I will never die of cancer. I just ate enough seeds to ensure that just now. I just ate 10. But if you Google it or talk to the AMA, they'll say apricot seeds cause cyanide poisoning and you can die from eating too many apricot seeds. Do you know that's been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt? June Despain, I just read it to you. She proved it in the 70s, and she was an FDA pharmacologist and toxicologist. Many other doctors have proven it. So guys, I get overwhelmed at how many people. Laetrile B17 cannot be poisonous. The body chemistry, because of rhodonase, will not allow it. Rhodonase turns amygdalin, even if the cyanide and benzaldehyde are broken apart, turns it into pain relievers and an actual help to your body. It works because God made it that way. It's a lie that we have to tell the message every day. Every day I'm on a podcast, the biggest thing is, I heard cyanide poisoning. That's the lie they keep telling, and we're proving it's not true. I mean, it's been proven it's not true. And so I want to give you another thing, guys, and I don't want to make this all about John Richardson, but these are some of the newest things I found. I've told you guys the story of Dr. Hans Nieper. I'm not trying to get you to buy another book. Dr. Ed Group told me this book changed his life. Hans Nieper studied Laetrile B17 and metabolic therapy in the 70s, 80s, and cured Ronald Reagan's cancer. And I use the word cured. You guys know I don't like using that word usually, but he says it. He wiped out his cancer using Laetrile and metabolic therapy for 60 days in 1985 when Ronald Reagan had stage 4 colon cancer. And he was worried he wasn't going to be able to run for president another day. I've told you that story, have I not?
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
I'm sorry if I didn't. So Ronald Reagan went to the grave 19 years later with that information I just gave you. And in 1986, Ronald Reagan was forced by the big pharmaceutical companies, had so much money and so much power, they got him in to president. He was forced to sign the law that said you can't sue pharmaceutical companies. So they let him cure his cancer with metabolic therapy, non-pharmaceuticals, and Laetrile by Dr. Hans Nieper, but they made him make a deal with the devil, much like President Donald Trump had to do when he did Operation Warp Speed. So, and also President Ronald Reagan was the last president was attempted to murder him, just like President Trump. So I give you that little bit of background to go back to this book real quick. Okay. Published in 2002. And this is what Philip Day says about Dr. Hans Nieper, who wrote this book. During a visit to the United States, he was from West Germany. He had an accent. He had a really thick accent. And I met a guy in the office here Friday that was actually treated by Hans Nieper. He met in person. He runs an organization, tells people there's hope for cancer. And he cured his cancer with Laetrile as well. But he was treated by Hans Nieper. So this is all coming full circle again. Hans Nieper said.
And just a shout out, John. Hold that book up one more time by Dr. Hans Nieper. For people just listening on the podcast, the title of that book is called The Curious Man.
I don't even believe it's in,
it's
not in print. We found this in the vault. I don't think it's in print. It's been all of these things I'm showing you have all been blackballed and kicked off of this, and you can look at Amazon and won't even find it. But Ed Group said it.
Now, is that available on your website?
No, it's not yet. Because these things, we literally, guys, I only have 24 hours in a day.
They don't have any.
I mean, I wish you could.
Right.
Once you and your wife come out here, your jaw is going to be dropped at the literal amount of information that comes out on a daily basis, just on a daily basis. So I just want to finish this point. I want to wrap it up. Dr. Nieper, during a visit in the United States, told reporters after more than 20 years of such specialized work, I have found non-toxic Laetrile far superior to any other known cancer treatment or preventative. In my opinion, it is the only existing possibility for the ultimate control of cancer.
Wow.
Book by Philip Day.
Crazy.
Right there. I just read that to you, and I found this out 10 days ago.
So, John, those books that you found, like in the vault,
yep.
I know you would like to actually
I could just start showing you guys. I could just start showing you book after book after book after book.
Here's what I have to know. Can you all, if they're out of copyright, can you all republish those or reproduce those?
I'm gonna beg your audience, like I do everybody. If anybody's out there that can help us do that, contact me. Send me an email.
I think from what I believe, what I've studied in the past about copyright is that if a book has been out of copyright, I believe it's 28 years. I believe it's more or less free game for people to.
You're absolutely right. Ed Griffin told me those. Ed Griffin told me that, and I'm putting it out there to the world, to God, to bring somebody into my life. I talk to people all the time. I talk to a guy that has a family publishing business, but he's in the business of doing new books, promoting them and selling new books. And we've contracted him to write the book about my family story. I'm talking to another movie producer that wants to make the movie about this family story. I only have so much time in the day, and I'm not complaining. I'm not saying, gosh, but the most common thing I hear during the day is, why haven't you done that yet? Whatever the list is, people say, well, why haven't you done that yet, John? Because I'm just giving you guys a little thimble of the amount of the information that's in this vault and that we're uncovering on a daily basis. So,
well, sounds like my wife and I need to come out there and spend about 4 or 5 days and just spend some hours volunteering and helping you guys do scanning or organizing or filing or whatever.
Please do. I'm invited. I got Pastor Ruth and Anna Kate coming out to pray over our company. Anna Kate is she worked for the famous guy that's doing all the undercover inspection. The guy
James O'Keefe.
James O'Keefe. Yeah, James O'Keefe. She was the person that uncovered some big scandal. That's Anna Kate. She was on Survivor. And she and her pastor driving out here next week. Because I said, we need to be prayed over. We need God's, glory. I mean, God is putting all these things in my life, and I'm giddy with excitement and all the stuff that's happening. But I'm like, God, you got to multiply my time, And so, yes, anybody in your audience that says, hey, I want to help. What can I do? I tell people all the time, go on to Operation World Without Cancer and look and see what we have got going on and all the different information we got to go out there. So even editing and writing an email to send out to all my doctor friends to get them to tell Trump to run from this mRNA vaccine, even that, it takes time and effort and why people say, John, why haven't you done it yet?
Well, John, what's the target date for having the apricot seeds covered in dark chocolate?
Oh my gosh. There's a good example. Have we shown you the chocolate bar?
You have shown us the chocolate bar,
about
and you've shown us the rocks. Oh my gosh, what's
okay? The chocolate bar will be on the site within the next week, and I literally did nothing on it except for have my wife vet the ingredients. An outside guy who's a fan of what we're doing said, I'll do it. I love chocolate. I'll make it for you and do it all stuff. And he brought it to us and said, here, it's done. And so now we're putting the thing together to get on the website and make sure that he makes enough money and, all that stuff. You got to make sure of all that. And there's an example of people have been bringing that up. It's a healthy chocolate bar that has apricot seeds in it. So people have no problem. And I usually have one to show people, but my assistant dropped one of my buddies that flew in from Houston back off at the airport. So she would normally hand it to me right at the right time. But it's going to be available on our website, and you can get it through the discount code through you guys, and it'll be available in the next week or so. We'll send out an email so everybody knows, and you can tell hey guys, just to let you know, RNC just got their chocolate bar. It's on the site. You can get it now, and we give all the discounts and the affiliate commissions and all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be another life-changing thing. And I had nothing to do with it. I'm not going to lie to you and say I sat in meetings and talked about how to do it. God had somebody make it and then bring it to us.
What's the other product you have that was similar to the Pop Rocks when we were kids?
It's called Vitarox. And again, it's normally right here on my desk. Can I get a Vitarox and the chocolate bar? There's the Vitarox. Here they are. This is a product. We did do everything with this one. This is natural sugar. It's raspberry puree and peach. What's the other one? Monk fruit. Okay, thank you. My nutritionist.
I think I can do that.
What's that? Yeah,
I
these
think I
pop
can do
in your
that.
mouth, and they don't go through your digestive tract. They go right through your across the blood-brain barrier. So you're getting the B17 into your system in a fun, exciting way. And kids like it, and it tastes good, and it's fun. And it's called Vitarox. We can't call it the other one, but it's the same technology. And it's a delivery system, because the biggest complaint for families with kids is, they don't like the taste of the apricot seeds. They taste bitter, so they don't like it, so they don't want to do it. And then here's the chocolate bar I told you about, available probably within the next week on the website. So
wow, nice.
The only thing is, people are like, "Oh, it's sold out already." That's a problem when you start out with any new product. Sometimes you can't just order, 50,000 bars, because you go broke. So you order enough for the first thing and see how it goes, and then you go from there. So, here we go. I'm actually giving a business lesson as I'm talking to you guys on this show for the audience, like how we do what we do with only 24 hours in the day. And I have 11 children, 11 unvaccinated children. My son just had his 17th birthday last night, so we had a big celebration, and so
had a lot of Vitarox for all the guests.
Yeah, Vitarox for everybody.
That's
Chocolate
right.
bars and Vitarox for everybody. So
I just want to give a shout out, John, and tell our audience too that, like I said before, if you're not watching this, definitely, if you're listening, make sure you watch. If you're listening only on the podcast, make sure you go over and watch this episode too, because John shows up a lot of great visual aids in these shows. And then also go to their website. Go to rncstore.com/grit if you want to get a good discount on several of these items, whether it's books, supplements, whatever. And Randy, we have to say, these are not cures. These are not preventions, what John is selling. John, how would you sum that up? What would you say if people say, well, then exactly what is B17, Leotril, or apricot seeds?
This is the biggest thing I want your audience to hear again. You don't need it from me. You don't need to get it from me. I don't have a trademark, patent, any of that stuff. You can get it from anybody. You can get it at your grocery store. It's found in 1,200 different foods. It's a food. That's the most important thing. It's God's food. God said, let the seeds be thy food. Take that literally, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take it figuratively. God said, let the seeds be your food. Don't eat an apple with no seeds. Don't eat a watermelon with no seeds. These are GMO products that you shouldn't be eating. God said, have it for your food. So yes, this is not a cure. I don't treat anybody. I don't see any patients. I'm an investigator and a truth teller, and I quote from books from other people. I'm not treating anybody. So yes, absolutely, we don't want to recommend anybody do anything medically. They got to find their own practitioner. But here's the key: if you come to rncstore.com, always use the discount code GRIT. Why? So that we can help you get a discount, first of all, and also we can help our friends keep this message going, to help keep telling people these stories, give you these updates. It costs money to tell this message, so we want you to always use the discount code GRIT. Every time you come to RNC, everywhere, even at the end where it says, enter your discount code to get your discount, enter in GRIT every time, because that's how we keep this. We change the economy from sending money to Amazon, who doesn't like us and probably doesn't want us, most of us, alive, to an economy that we want. We want you healthy. We want to tell you the truth. We want you to be awakened and happy and have a great family and live a great life. That's the economy we want you to go over to. And that's how you do it, by typing in the letters GRIT every time.
Well, I tell you what, I'm anxious to see, because we've got a whole new perspective on good things that are rolling out.
Wins, big wins.
Yes, and so you're telling us that, you're working with Trump's transition team to get this declaration of a national chronic disease, what do you call it? Emergency.
Yeah.
So
because it opens up all kinds of funding, and people are afraid of it because of what happened with COVID. But don't be. We're not going to lock people down. We're going to, if we get this, it's just going to open up funding and stop these. We all hear the deep state stay behind network that stops everything. Oh yeah, we're going to stop it from happening. Declaring a national medical emergency for chronic disease is the only way we can get it done in 4 years. It's going to take a lot of work and hard work and effort, but we can and will do it. Your ancestors your family members don't need to die of a chronic disease. 12 and a half years of our life is spent suffering from a chronic disease, which is preventable and just treatable with just God's food, just eating the right things and not poisoning your body. We can get rid of 12 and a half years of suffering from the average American's life over the next 4 years.
I saw something earlier this week, John. You can correct me if I'm wrong, and it may be fake news. It may be true news. Said something about the kill rate with chemotherapy is about 97.3%.
Again, factual. And again, this is where, if I was worried about the FDA, they'd say, you can't tell people not to do chemotherapy. Why? Because I can't tell them, because the rate of death is 93% of the time.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if I took my car to a mechanic that 93% of the time I got my car back worse than when I took it in? I would stop going, and so would everybody.
The Better Business Bureau would be all over them, and they would have everybody down on them.
I'd be sued by every Tom, Dick, and Harry if I had a car dealership like that. But yet, in medical world, I get those results, and I can't sue anybody.
It's accepted.
It's accepted, and the doctor gets a kickback. The whole system is broken, and it's going to take a lot of work to fix it. But we are in the midst of fixing it. Another one that we won is the direct-to-consumer advertising. I'm not sure if that's been signed yet, but it is going to be done.
Beautiful.
There will be no more direct-to-consumer advertising for big pharma companies lying to people about what these wonderful things these drugs do, and then listing the plethora of side effects that you suffer from. So again, we sell a food product. We sell a product that you find in 1,200 different foods, and we just tell people the truth about it. You have to do your own due diligence, and you should go to your doctor and teach your doctor, because many doctors know less than the three of us do about nutrition.
I always laugh at ABC's World News Tonight. It comes on at 5:30 Central Time for 30 minutes here in the Midwest. And I'm just, it's comical in that 30-minute segment how many commercials are only pharmaceutical commercials. And when I started listening to them, and I listened to all the, and they're goofy, weird names, White Wegovy, and it looks like they just a bunch of people got drunk at a bar one night and threw out cards, and however the cards ended up, that's what they named the drug. But when they start listing off, may not be suitable or may cause blindness or erectile dysfunction or grow 3 heads or, make you sterile. I'm like, this is, and people will be at their doctors first thing in the morning. It's like, hey, I need this new gizmo wing ding drug that's going to do this for me. The doctor's like, let's try it.
Well, and then when you get that, they'll have to give you Viagra.
Right, exactly. Well, it's criminal, guys. And here's the thing that's the underlying thing is if that network, ABC News, is taking 50% of its ad revenue from the big pharma, are they ever going to do a report on ABC News that's negative towards that big pharma company? Are they ever going to?
Nope.
Think about that. So that's another thing that's going to change automatically when you stop allowing the direct-to-consumer advertising. So if the big pharma wants to advertise to the doctors that are supposed to prescribe your medicine, teach them, give them a class about the good, the bad, and the ugly about that pharmaceutical drug so that they can legitimately tell their patient if they should have it or not because they're getting a kickback, not because they get $1 million bonus if they get 85% of their people on that drug. And though that's still legal, that's going to be changed if our top 7 missions change. So yeah, we're actively working on this, and it's not going to happen in 5 days. Literally, this is day 5, guys. Day 5. So.
Well, and we've already experienced a lot of wins. Well, John, thanks so much for coming on here. We always have you. It's amazing what you bring to the table every time you come on. You always bring new items, new products, new resources, materials, new education. But we just want to say thanks so much for coming on here. Again, if people want to go to rncstore.com/grit, rncstore.com/grit, John and his team can help you out with supplements or B17 or apricot seeds, or
even
plethora of books. Yeah,
reports and data and all that stuff's on the website.
And Vitarocks.
Yeah, and Vitarocks.
You got to have the Vitarocks. So, John, thanks so much for coming on here, man. Looking forward to having you back on and what you're going to bring to the table the next time.
Thank you, guys. God bless you both, and God bless your audience.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. Take care.
See you.
Thanks for watching another exciting episode of Patriots with Grit. We want to keep you informed, so if you would, just go over to patriotswithgrit.com and give us your first name and your email so we can keep you up to date. Also, be sure to subscribe, like, and share so we can keep bringing you truth. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.